Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with a beautiful, lovely, sometimes she's been known to make this here man a sandwich wife of mine, light of my life, Yanzi.
Hi.
And today is the day we're talking decimated DC as round robin. There is a wreck on the tracks, and in form of T. Franklin. Let's get into it. When I said there is a wreck on the tracks, it is a beautiful train wreck. This is hilarious, and I'm glad we're documenting it. So please look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications while you can. Leave me a comment below. Help share the video, help this channel out. DC Comics, because they don't know what to make. They have all these great household name characters, and they don't know what to do with them. They're just like, hey, let's let people tell us what they'll buy. And that's what's funny about this story, guys. Now, T. Franklin was assigned to one of these things. Now, when DC Comics first did the round robin thing, everybody made fun of it. They're like, well, we don't even know who's attached to these projects. This time around, DC Comics was like, well, we'll actually make logos and we'll have some creators attached to these projects, kind of, sort of. Now you're betting for, there's something to it. There's some stick to it. You actually know what you're actually voting for as far as content goes, as far as the comic book you will be able to buy. Take the money out of your pocket and place on a comic book table at your local, your LCS, in exchange for this comic book that, according to your peers, your comic geekdom peers, have voted for. Now, in the case of T. Franklin, this has not worked out so well. Do you want to explain to everybody why?
Well, T. Franklin is over here. She's working on the book called Ghost Tour from Hell. So
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so what is this book about? Well, T. Franklin is here to tell us what her book is about. I'm the only woman writer in this competition with the only women-led title, and it's a horror series. All right. So far, I have no idea what the book is, but okay.
No, but after I get past all of her being the only woman in the group,
with the only woman title book in the group,
led by a woman, the leader of this book is a woman character. Then she tells me the genre, it's a horror series. And then in the second paragraph, she finally tells me the name of the character after it's about her and that she's a woman and everything.
No, look, it's a sandwich. Madame Xanadu's Ghost Tour from Hell is written by me, a black, queer, disabled, autistic woman, and a black man. So she begins with woman writer, and she ends with black, queer, disabled, autistic woman. So it's a checkbox sandwich. Yay!
And yes, it is. So somewhere in between is the actual book that she's selling. Okay, now it's very important that T. Franklin historically had Vixen channel the powers of animals to perform fellatio. I can't make this up, and DC Comics printed it. Perform fellatio with a giraffe.
Fellatio is the male version, darling. I believe because Vixen is a lesbian, so it's. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say why it is. Anyway, let's go back to T. Franklin. So, again, checkbox sandwich. I think I'm going to call this it's a checkbox multiple tier sandwich because she goes on to say, y'all want diverse stories? Look no further. Now, stop me if I'm wrong, but isn't Madame Xanadu basically kind of like ethnically considered white?
Yeah, but did T. Franklin just identify as a white redneck southerner person because she said y'all?
Oh. Well,
that's cultural appropriation.
It is pretty weird. So we have this case of Madame Xanadu's Ghost Tour from Hell. By the way, this description is I have no idea what book this is about that I would be voting for if I were voting for this round robin thing.
Right.
So before people say too much shenanigans with the whole round robin thing, so last year it was a bit of a mess because they had to tally the votes from Instagram and Twitter. So this time around they said, okay, you must have the DCU app, and then only the people who have an account and on the app and register the vote, then they count the votes. So this year they're trying to make it a little more streamlined. So let's see what happens with the results. She begins about 12 hours ago. She's like, this is gonna be the most stressful 24-40 hours to fight if we won or lost the competition.
I'm going to pause here. First off, I agree with her here. This is undue stress because DC Comics doesn't know what they should be publishing, that all of a sudden they're going to put creators and play with their livelihoods like it's a game on the internet.
It is literally a game on the internet. They took 16 creative teams and say, we're going to eliminate y'all one by one until there's only one winner left. And it's like, that is very, very stressful and quite ridiculous, honestly. It's like, a lot of these titles should be on the table just because they're not Batman.
And it's very lazy because how many books is this? 16? This is 6. DC Comics is running up to 16 comic book creators, getting them to go. They're basically intercepting their social media accounts as a marketing ploy.
Let's see how it
Which
works
we're
then.
seeing how this is got a tragic ending. Okay, let's go.
She goes on. Anyone had the DC site screenshot of us winning last night? We'll talk about this fiasco later. This is hella important, y'all. Y'all again. My last screenshot I have was at 3 p.m. I need any screenshot from late last night before the polls closed after. I need a screenshot from last night before the polls closed that showed that we won, not any from today.
Yeah.
I really need to know if someone has screenshots from last night because right now DC site say we lost, and I know that's a damn lie.
Damn lie. You go, girl.
So that I didn't think I need to take a screenshot, but anyone have one? So it seems like there was vote discrepancy, fake account, everything sucks. I feel beep if I know. So let's have a look at this situation before I go further down the spiral. What happened was that, according to the polls, when it closed, shortly after it closed, it looks like Ghost from Hell actually won by a very narrow margin, 51% to 49%. There were a total of 3,248 votes. And yet,
which I first want to point out, 3,248 votes. If those were actual people buying a book, it would not justify DC Comics even making this book.
So let's look at the vote results closed 18 hours later. So this was 8 minutes after it closed, and now it's 18 hours later. For some reason, over 200 votes disappeared. And it turns out Green Lantern won instead of Ghost from Hell. It's like, wait, what? So the explanation here, well, here's the explanation. So we're all like, is this real? So the community manager for the DCU app is like saying, someone created several hundred accounts and voted using the fake accounts, which sounds very dubious because you have to have the app, then you have to download on 200 over phones.
Hang on. T-Girl, do better. T-Girl, do better. Don't be hustling like this.
And then they say the corresponding votes from the fake accounts are pulled from the results. Steps have been taken to ensure that a repeat occurrence does not happen. Basically, they're arguing that this 200 plus accounts are all bot accounts at some point in time. Which brings us back to the whole fiasco with T. Franklin. Everything Domo and I did, how we campaigned hard as beep just for someone to destroy what we did for fun. Congrats for beeping over a black, queer, disabled creator, I guess. Wait. Didn't they just basically screw over Madame Xanadu over Green Lantern? It's not... Wait, I don't understand. Am I buying a book or am I buying a creator?
Well, that's the thing. According to her, you're buying the creator because she advertised herself at the beginning and at the end, and somewhere in between was the character. And you really actually the genre is in the middle too. She didn't care about any of that. This is an interesting thing. So diversity hires in comic books, it's been happening. Now that works in editorial, sure, but when you go out in the street and you just throw a poll up and you're like, hey, I'm a diversity hire, vote for me on this. This is what, this is the crowd that turned out. And more Green Lantern fans obviously turned out. Not a lot, a little bit. But the real takeaway to this is not a lot of people really cared either way. And they really didn't participate. Not even getting more than 4,000 votes is really sad. That means nobody really cares to begin with. Only a few more Green Lantern fans cared than actual, diversity hire fans.
Stop me if I'm wrong, but basically she's competing with the whole black angle, this black woman angle. Isn't Jon Stewart, which is the star of the book that just, won over them, also a black person?
Right, but see, this is, you'd really have to get in her head. See, she doesn't see comics as actual characters and product that people that are buying it are looking to be entertained by. She sees comics as the people that are working on the book. And when the people that are working on the book, meaning their physical self, their feelings. And this is I understand why she would think that. She came from an independent comic background. But this is corporate comics with an already baked in fandom, and marketing's already there for some of these characters. And honestly, I wouldn't have gotten my hopes up too high with the brand recognition of Green Lantern versus Madame Xanadu. She is where she is.
Well, let's look at the fact that she is basically talking more about herself than the book anymore at this point. I just want to tell stories and get paid, beep. So she just wants to write stories and get paid. That's what she wants. She doesn't even care that's Madame Xanadu at this point, I guess. Emails in bio if you need a writer. I think I'm just gonna smoke weed, cry, eat ice cream and cry, take edibles, cry, and stop hysterically until I fall asleep.
Consistently cry?
The numbness I feel, and for the first time, it doesn't have anything to do with my neuropathy. Okay, you know what? At this point, I actually feel bad for T. Franklin to have your feelings manipulated to win the polls and have it taken away from you like less than a day later because they claim they are rigged votes. That is not very good, actually.
Okay, I do feel bad for her though. In a way, I feel bad that I feel bad for every creator involved with this because DC Comics not knowing what they're doing and how to publish books that people want. They don't even know who cares about what characters of theirs right now because the only thing they're selling is Batman. That's the truth of this. Every one of these creators, T. Franklin aside, you're sitting here with your livelihood, just being thrown in the wind, and you're having to go to your social media account and try to campaign for a corporate book just so you get maybe a couple of months worth of work on and you'll own none of it. At this point, any creator here, you should honestly just be doing a crowdfunded book or something if you're going to go to social media and beg for people to support you.
Hopefully, when T. Franklin advertised that she's available for writing gigs if you're looking for inclusive comics, inclusivity being
diversity, LGBTQ, handicap compatible, however you want to identify. And I'm not against identity politics, characters being in books. I just don't think that's the selling point of a book. I think story and diversity, there's this thing where people want more diversity in comics, and there's two types of diversities. Of course, there's diverse characters, but there's a diversity of stories. And if I was T. Franklin, and if I had Madame Xanadu, and you got that lot of life, I'd really be talking about how new this story would be, and how it's a horror comic, and it's going to be not another superhero comic. Because right now, that's one thing DC Comics is lacking, is right now they're only selling superheroes. This was T. Franklin's shot at basically having a Vertigo-esque type book in this whole thing, and it would have stood out, and it actually would have had some type of selling points to it. Right now, her selling points was herself.
Well, it really is, because she ends by saying, "Oh, because we are black and you can't tell me any different." So by the end of the day, when she has lost, she says, "We lost because me and the artists are black." And okay, if she had won, it would be like, "We won because we are black. If we lost, we're black. It's because we're black." It's like, all right. Right. Yes, either way, it's just the diversity checkboxes.
Here's the thing. I've sold really well at DC Comics on certain books. I've sold really poorly, like Metal Men, on certain books at DC Comics. Okay, Superman Earth 1, of course, it's going to sell a hell of a lot better than Metal Men. That both, I was a white male working on both. Did my color or gender have anything to do with those books selling? Absolutely not. Okay, now there's meritocracy in what you can do as a creator, but there's also built-in brand recognition of a character. You put those things up against one another. It's easier to advertise a product people know. People hear the term Green Lantern, they know what they're kind of voting for. And honestly, if I was her, I would be like, wow, I almost beat Green Lantern with a book that I only sold myself. Now, I wouldn't take a lot of pride in that. I would have actually sold my book and not yourself. But when when you've branded yourself and you brand that you're selling is all your check boxes, I mean, what else are you going to do?
I think bottom line is this is a very tragic case. But at the same time, this is very important. This is a very important note for creators. Make sure you actually sell the book and not yourself, because by the end of the day, people are going to hold the book in their hands. They're not going to hold your profile and read it every day.
But what you will be able to hold in your hands pretty soon, coming up this fall, is Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex comic book. Now, this is over $250,000 for a comic book about monsters punching one another. I'll leave you guys with the trailer. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, share the video out, and we will catch you guys again. And I'll leave you with this trailer.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6th sense for imposters, so now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins. Something you can't tame, cause I break the chain.